probably flourish, and he's probably working really hard right now to get on that 53. I've heard he's progressed with the playbook, and I think he'll excel, and I think he will probably make the 53 next year. I think that we're going to see some moving a little bit next year with a couple of players. I'm hoping, I know as much as people hate D-Rob, I really don't want to see him go anywhere. I'd like to keep at least 6 of our, the only reason I want to keep, the reason I like D-Rob, and this is the only reason I like D-Rob, is this. He knows our system. He makes some really crazy catches when needed. He's not great on short pass plays. He's not great, on RPOs, but when you get him downfield, and especially in end zone, deep passes, he can make those acrobatic catches, sideline catches he can make. He's just not great over the middle. I think that he just knows the system very well. He's a very upbeat guy. I would like to keep him around. I just would. He's not expensive, and I think he just brings an element to the team that he's kind of like that. How should I put this? To me, he's similar to like that Charcandrick West style personality that people really like. And, personalities tend to bring an element to a locker room. And I knew that from playing baseball, that, a personality can do 2 things. It can drag a team down. It can bring a team up. There was a guy that I played ball with that can bring down a dugout. And honestly, he can bring down a meeting room. He can bring down a dugout. He can bring down a parking lot just from pulling in his car. And I know you know who I'm talking about, but
yep.
Then, you have guys like Charcandrick that the guy drives down the street and people are just happy to see him. The guy, he's just a very happy, go lucky guy that everybody likes. He's cracking jokes. Yeah, people may not think he was one of the better players that ever played in the league, but he had some great plays. He didn't have and he had some not so great plays. But
who doesn't, though? I mean, we saw Mahomes throw probably one of the worst interceptions we've seen he's ever thrown. And even he said that, that wasn't good. So that stuff's just going to happen.
Exactly.
Bad plays will happen. As much as we don't like it, they happen.
Exactly. So, I mean, I like D-Rob as a person. I think the players like him as a person. And I do. And I still go back to one of the best touchdowns I've seen in years by any wide receiver was one that he caught in the end zone.
One hand in the corner.
In the corner, and it was just a phenomenal catch. And he's made more than one like that. And I do like that about him. Yes, he makes mistakes. And yes, he, there's times he runs backwards but I've seen Kelce run backwards a few times. He'll get the ball, he'll spin backwards and go forward again. Kelce's got the power to push through that.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek's got the moves to get around that.
Yep.
D-Rob doesn't. So, and in my opinion, that's where you go back to, like you said, when you put it on Spags, sometimes, in my opinion, you put that on the coaching staff. And that is where, if you're going to put D-Rob in a game, you put him where he's going downfield, and he's a deep threat wide receiver that hopefully he catches something 40, 50 yards downfield.
Yep, because that's true.
That's what he's
we saw this. He had a phenomenal catch against the Ravens, I think, in the week 2 game. And I don't know if I thought he got one more touchdown. I can't remember. I'm going to check up the stats real quick. But from what we've seen so far, look, I was shaking my head. I don't really like D-Rob, the player, but I see what you're talking about. And I think he can be very beneficial when it comes forward to the future. So I understand exactly what you're talking about from that standpoint. But I think kind of when it moves in the future, it's just, are they going to find someone who's more talented that they can pay for $760K? Or are they going to find someone else? So, it just kind of goes from that point.
He pays not much more than that. So
that's
not
very
like he's
true.
Breaking the bank. So it's, he's not killing, he's not breaking our bank by any means. So,
yeah,
no,
you're not wrong. And I think Robinson, he's a great guy, and I really do like him. So, yes, he had the touchdown against two teams, the Ravens and then also the Washington football team.
Yeah.
So, great time. He's had 2 interceptions. I think that's great.
Yeah.
But, JP, we've entered another part, my friend.
What's that?
I put out a tweet earlier. This is very important because the Chiefs have 3 straight games against 3 AFC West opponents.
Yes.
3 AFC West opponents. Those teams are the Broncos, Sunday Night Football, the Raiders, that's going to be noon game, and then I think the Chargers is a noon game as well. JP, do you think the Chiefs should go 3-0? Do you think it's mandatory that they do this in order to win the division?
Yes. I think, well, yeah, I mean, I think it's mandatory that they win them anyway. I think that it's mandatory no matter what that they win these games. The Raiders, I don't know if that's such a mandatory thing, but I think as far as the Chargers are concerned, definitely. I'm sorry, not the Raiders, but the Broncos. But as far as the Raiders and the Chargers, yes, they definitely. I think, in my opinion, they need to win out. If they want to get the number 1 seed, they need to win out. Period. End of story. If they want to have a chance at the number 1 seed. Right now, it looks like they could possibly get it. The
magic's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to have to lose a couple more. Tennessee, they're already dropping. They need to lose a couple more.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots might end up getting it. As much as I don't like to say, they may end up being the team to get it because they'll have the tiebreaker if they beat Buffalo twice. Well, I think they have that automatically, but they'll have the tiebreaker.
Well, who do they have now? Who do they have left? Who do the Patriots have left as far as their record is, or their schedules?
Let me check.
I don't know what their record looks like.
So I think they're 8-4 right now.
Yeah, Excuse me.
They have the Bills next Monday Night Football, the Colts, the Bills again, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins. So the only way the Chiefs could somehow pull this thing off, I guess, if the Bills beat the Patriots both times, and then they were to lose one of their other games in the AFC against the Jaguars or the Dolphins or the Colts, but the Chiefs don't play anyone there. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of in the point where as long as they make the playoffs, I'll be happy. But in order for them to get the first round bye, some crazy stuff's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
because there's only one bye. There's only one bye, unfortunately.
There's only one bye.
It sucks. It shouldn't be like that, but there's only one.
Yeah, and honestly, I see the Patriots, the one that I would be, if I was the Patriots, the one that I would be worried about would be the Colts. I got to be honest.
That would be an interesting game. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting game. They're no joke. I mean, they're not a joke of a football team. And I got to say, everybody gave me shit about Carson Wentz, saying that when I said that he was going to be a different guy going, leaving Philadelphia and going to them, he is a different guy playing with.
He is Colts. A different player because he's in an offense with his former offensive coordinator. He's in a new city. And unfortunately, he's with a better fan base. I mean, as much as we don't like to say it, as we've had people say, come former players on the show, like, yeah, Philadelphia is a fan base, is a different fan base. So, I mean,
we got a reporter friend that says that grew up a Philadelphia fan, and he says he knows what they're like. You know, and in fact, he even said it. He said, 1 minute they're ranting and raving about how great somebody is, and if they make a mistake, they wish to God he was dead. So, I mean, that's just how they are. And, it's sad to be that way. And it's got to be, and that's why he left. That's the main reason. That's the only reason why he left there. And it was killing his career. It was killing his mindset, his emotional, his mindset was destroyed. And he just wanted out. And after that injury, he never got a good vibe, a good feeling from that fan base, and he wanted out, and he got out, and I'm glad he did, because he's got a resurgence in his career. He looks happy when he's out there playing. He looks happy. Even when he loses, he looks happy. Like today, he looked happy. I mean, he played today. He had a phenomenal game. He had some phenomenal passes. I watched that entire game. Mm-hmm. He played great. He really did. If that one pass wouldn't have came off that wide, I can't remember the wide receiver. It wasn't T.Y. Hilton, it was somebody else. But if it didn't come off his hands, that wouldn't have been an interception. And he played very well, and I'm very happy for him because he's now in a position that he feels good about himself. He feels good about everything he's doing. He's got a great fan base. You know, the Indianapolis is a great fan base. They don't trash their players. They don't trash their coaching staff. They don't beat up anybody. They don't call them names. They don't, win or lose, they are diehard fans. All of them are diehard fans. And that's what I like about their fan base. They're diehards, and they love their team, and they love their city. So it's great to see him doing well. And I love the fact that, Frank Reich is doing so well. I mean, it's great to see him up there and happy and doing so well with his team. And he's, another product of really Andy when you think about it, but he's doing well, and it's just nice to see. I mean, I'm glad that they're doing well. So they're a team that people, they can say what they want, but they're not a joke of a football team. And another year from now, they're going to be another contending football team that people are going to have to watch out for. So
they might sneak into the playoffs. You never know.
In that division, they will. They can. I mean, in that division, they absolutely can. So
yeah, that's very true.
Yep.
So we're looking at the Broncos game coming up Sunday Night Football. Man, the game got flexed.
Yep.
I think that's great. So how do you? Off. I mean, I feel bad for international Chiefs fans who have to be up since like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to suck for us because, we'll watch the game, then we'll have a show. It'll be a late night, but, I mean, we're used to it at this point.
Yeah.
So, but kind of, man, what are your thoughts kind of rolling into this game?
Well, looking at our defense and the way we have been surging, I see it as a good win. I don't see Denver beating us at all. In fact, I got a weird feeling that we're going to probably put up a pretty good amount of points, and I think we're going to hold them to less than 17.
Okay.
So I'm going to say probably 30. I'm going to say 35-17 is probably going to be my score.
Okay.
But it may be less points on their side.
Okay.
I think our defense is just stupid right now. So.
Well, I think our defense is on a whole nother level. And it was reported actually from the Broncos themselves that 2 of their offensive linemen got hurt.
They did.
Or they're dealing with injuries.
Yeah.
When you're looking at today. And it's Dalton Reisner, K-State guy, really good guard, and the left tackle, Calvin Anderson. So it's going to be interesting to see if those guys, if they can come back to the game, like what can they do coming up this next week? Because we know the defensive line has completely changed. They will rush them. They will do stunts. They will do anything possible to get to the quarterback. Yeah. And just seeing players such as Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Melvin Ingram. I mean, he doesn't look like the same guy we saw in Los Angeles. So we're just being honest. He does not look like the same guy at all. So, I mean, he looks like a whole new guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I mean, I know at one point a while back, I mean, it's been a while, he wanted to come here. And even prior to this offseason, he wanted to come here. And I know that he needed a change when he left LA San Diego at the time, but he wants to play, and he wants to play and be productive. And when he gets to do that, that's just it's a game changer for him mentally. And that's where he's at. I mean, he's mentally in a great place right now, and physically he's in great condition. He's fast off the edge.
He doesn't look like the same guy.
No.
I mean, you saw that game, man. The guy hit him. He knocked him backwards. He's like, what was that? Looking around.
Exactly.
It was kind of crazy. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's changed the mindset of the rest of the line. And it's like, man, I mean, that helped right there. Like we've always said, it's not one person that can do it all. And we've always expected Frank Clark to change, because it was one person. You can't expect 1 or 2 people to do it. Everybody rode Jaron Reed because he wasn't doing very well, but you can't expect
Jaron Reed has stepped up.
He stepped
I'm
up.
telling you right now, JP, if you are in a third down situation, you about to go to the third, fourth down situation, you need to get this stop to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, get in the playoffs. You need Chris Jones. You need Melvin Ingram. You need Jarran Reed and Frank Clark all on the field right there. I don't care what order you let them